Hi, my name is Ketsia Zinga. I'm a senior in C studying biomedical engineering. I was investigating X-ray damage on DNA and ways of mitigating this damage using small molecules. We use a DNA-based material comprising of individual nanoscale units. Each of these units is comprised of one long DNA strand stapled and folded together using smaller staple strands, and that all assembled into a three-dimensional shape. These three-dimensional DNA shapes have single-stranded sticky ends coming out at each vertice, which allow them to attach to other units into one superlattice. So the highly organized superlattice allows us to study structural changes over time using small angle X-ray scattering, or SACs. Using SACs allows us to expose the DNA to X-ray radiation and trace structural changes over time. So SACs data can be represented in a one-dimensional plot where peaks can sort of inform the order of the system or the degree of order in the system. And we also use an autocorrelation function, which tells us how a sample relates to itself over the course of the exposure time. So higher peaks mean higher order, and decrease in peak amplitude means less order in the system. Likewise, decrease in correlation means the structure is changing over time, and we can assume to be degrading over time. In these superlattices, we had loaded gold nanoparticles in either every single unit, half the units, or none of the units. What we found was that in the presence of gold nanoparticles, X-ray damage to the DNA structure was increased. This could be explained by secondary electrons being released from the gold nanoparticles when they are irradiated with X-rays. What we found was vitamin C both maintained peak height and correlation over time versus samples without vitamin C. This is important because DNA is the genetic material for all of life. It informs all of our cell functions, from breathing to cell differentiation to just about anything else going on in our body. We are exposed to X-rays during medical imaging, CT scans, and your typical X-ray you get when you break a bone. Also astronauts when they travel in space because they don't have the atmosphere to protect them, and even pilots on every single trip they take.